This week we're learning 3 guitar riffs that I teach to new students in their very first guitar lesson. These riffs have resulted in 100% of these students wanting more lessons. We're going to be kicking off first with Hash Pipe by Weezer. So for this we're going to be using just our index finger, and we are going to want to pick our A string twice to begin with, so it's going to sound like this. Okay, so half of our riff is actually, we don't need to put a finger down, so it makes it pretty good for us. And then we're going to place our first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. Our 3 notes so far are open A, 2nd fret A. And then to complete the riff, you just move your first finger over to that 3rd fret on the A string, pick it once, and that is your riff. So if you do the 4 notes together slowly, it will be open A, 2nd fret A, and 3rd fret A. Now at the moment it's not really going to sound too much like the song, but what I recommend you do is loop those 4 notes round and try and get it as quick as you can. So at that kind of speed it's starting to get more like the original track, and then you can test yourself and try and get to the original track tempo. At the moment we're not really looking at speed, we're looking at how clean the notes are. So that is a nice simple beginning. We're now going to move on to You Really Got Me by the Kinks. So for this we're going to place our first finger on the 1st fret of the E string. Now pluck it once, then we're going to move up to the 3rd fret on your E string. We're going to pluck this twice. Then we're going to move back to 1 and pick it once. And then back to the 3rd fret and pick it once. So altogether we've got 1, 3, 3, 1, 3. And once more, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3. The second part of this riff is we're then going to be on our 3rd fret low E. We're going to pick it once. Then we're going to move up to the 5th fret E. We're going to pick it twice. Back to 3. And then back to 5. So this little section here goes 3, 5, 5, 3, 5. So what you can do is practice that section 1 on the 1st and the 3rd frets separately to the 2nd section on the 3rd and the 5th fret. So you would practice this maybe a couple times. Then you'd move on to the next section. And again, it's not really about the speed, it's about the quality of the notes and just building up your muscle memory in your fingers of how to move between the different notes. So we have one final section for this guitar riff. We're going to hop our finger down onto the 3rd fret of your A string. We're going to pick that once. We're going to move up to the 5th fret and we're going to play it twice. Back to 3 on our A string. And back to 5 on our A string. So it's exactly the same really as what we're doing on this E string, we've just done it on the A string. Okay, so one more time it would be 3, 5, 5, 3, 5. So one thing just to be careful of here between section 2 and section 3, so in section 2 we actually end on the 5th fret of our E. Okay, so we've got to make a jump to the next string and almost diagonal to that 3rd fret on the A. So what I'd recommend you do is just practice going between your 5th fret on the low E to the 3rd fret on the A. And again, we're building up our finger muscle memory. So again, you can practice this section 3 on its own. Then when you feel comfortable enough, let's start to link the sections together. So we're going to do section 1, section 2, and section 3. So it should sound like this at a real slow tempo. We're going to play each one twice. Okay, so each section twice. So we've got 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, and we've got a little gap. 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, little gap again. 3, 5, 3, 5, 5, 3, 5. Then you hop down and go diagonal. 3, 5, 5, 3, 5. Once more. 3, 5, 5, 3, 5. So let's move on to the very last riff now, and that is going to be Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. So for this song, we're going to place our first finger on the 2nd fret of your B string. Okay, so that is our 5th string down. Then we're going to pick our high E string. So to be able to play that high E string, you need a nice arch in your finger. That means that when we play the B string, we can just go straight to the high E and we can keep our finger where it is. So that's the first section. The second and the third section are exactly the same. So what we do is we play the B string twice and then the high E. Okay, so that's section 2. Section 3, you just play that again. So those are your 3 sections at the moment. I'm going to be saying out loud the string letters just so you can follow along on which string you need to pick. So our first finger is just going to stay there. So we got B, E, B, B, E, B, B, E. And then at the end we do have to do a little bit of a movement with our first finger. So we pick that 2nd fret B again. Then we move it up to the 4th fret. So we move across to our 4th fret, pick it once. We move back to the 2nd fret. And then finally we lift our finger off and play the string open. So this last section goes 2, 4, 2, and open. So that's all on your B string. So if we pull it all together now, it should sound like this at a slow tempo. I really recommend making sure you can get that arch in your finger, otherwise you're going to be getting this type of sound. If you're getting that sound, then you just need to arch that finger up so it's not touching that bottom string. If you do want a 30-minute group guitar lesson with me, then check out my Patreon link in the description box below. If you like this video, click the like button, click the subscribe and then the bell. That way you'll be notified each week when I upload a guitar lesson.